Long time no see, talk, record, all of the above. Today I wanted to make a video about a half marathon I completed. So my main motivation was to push myself to see how far I could go. Last year, as maybe you remember or don't remember, you can check up the cards right here. I ran a 13-kilometer barefoot marathon in Daejeon, South Korea. After I had completed that run successfully, despite not training on hills and training with shoes on and, I don't know, not really training properly for it, I was inspired to see how far I could go. Like, can I do a half marathon? Now I can say yes. Yes, I can. Originally, my goal was to do the half marathon last year. However, since I caught chronic bronchitis while I was in South Korea and then came home to America, I kind of put off running altogether. I didn't pick it up until probably about June of this year. So originally when I first decided to do this half marathon, I kind of wanted to do two things at once. Thing number one was to go see the Redwoods that are a little bit north of the Bay Area where I'm currently at. Thing number two was to run the half marathon. So that way I could get two goals done in one go. So after I found this marathon, I decided, okay, I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna go ahead and start training as soon as I come back from my trip in Europe. I started training at the end of, I started running again in June, but I really started running consistently at the end of July after our trip in Europe. Compared to Korea, most of my running here was done outdoors because the air quality is a lot better. I did a lot of my running in South Korea indoors, and then towards the very end outdoors, which is how I got chronic bronchitis. Oh, pollution over there is just, it's not a joke. Training outdoors is really wonderful for me because the job that I had, I was training outdoors next to the bay, and it was really beautiful, and it was a great way for me to kind of relieve my stress and just focus on running, kind of focus on meeting my different mileage goals for the week. Running had become kind of not just a way for me to reach my goal of making the half marathon, but also a way for me to kind of clean up my mental headspace. At the very beginning, I was doing about a minimum of 3 miles for each run. I gradually stretched them out to about 5 miles, and then from there I stretched it out to about 8. And literally all I was doing is just running one way, turning around, and then running back to my car, and then driving home. While I was training, something pretty hilarious happened. I had found out that I had been training with the wrong size shoe on my feet. And the way I found that out was I went to go running on the weekends, and typically I would do it more towards the middle of the day when it was the hottest. I would go start my run, and then all of a sudden, hey, I can't feel my feet. My feet are going numb. I would stomp the ground and I'd feel the pins and needles. So I was like, oh crap. So I would stop my running there, walk back to my car, and just go home. I decided that I needed the help of a professional, so I found a running store near here. I took those shoes in. I spoke with the lady who helped me out, and she let me know that I was actually wearing the wrong size shoe by at least one full size. I was running in 7.5 size shoes, and my feet were swelling up to about 8.5. So you can imagine how the circulation gets completely cut off. So I was able to get new shoes, which is great, and I was able to resume running without worrying my feet were gonna fall off, because that's what it literally felt like. The night before, I did have that stereotypical big plate of spaghetti with some vegetables on the side. I didn't go to bed at the best time either. I went to bed around 10:30 p.m. and I had to wake up at 3 in the morning to drive 4 hours north to where the marathon was going to take place. Yeah, it's pretty poor planning on my part, but I'm really thankful for my husband who was able to tag along with me, and he did do most of the driving. Thank you, I love you, don't kill me. Okay, it was freezing cold, and by freezing cold, I mean it was 40 degrees out. I did wear a shirt with a jacket with shorts and running tights, but I was looking around. Other people were in their regular tank tops and short shorts, and they look comfortable, so I mean, more power to them. And I knew I had to wear all that stuff because I would die from the cold. No, I wouldn't, but I'm just a baby when it comes to the cold. So the half marathon and marathoners Our race started at 9 a.m. sharp. I looked around, I saw a lot of other people really getting pumped up and excited, and I could feel it too. That worried me a little bit though, because I wanted to kind of stay true to what my pace is. I didn't really want to go out right when the gun fired and just use up all of my energy. My biggest goal for this race was to finish strong. That means no stopping, no walk breaks, continuously running as long as possible. One thing I really loved though about this marathon, it was very small, so it felt pretty intimate. There were about 430 runners all together for half marathon and marathon. And the best part was how encouraging everybody was. The race course was we run out going towards the end of the road and turn around and then come back. So as I was running towards the halfway point, I got cheered on by a lot of the other runners who were very encouraging and just shouting really positive things, and I really love that. So I tried to kind of return the energy back to the other runners that I had passed on my way going towards the finish line, and I really I don't know, I like positivity. You know, you don't want to be comparing yourself or worrying about what other people are doing. You kind of want to focus on your own path and meeting your goals, right? Right. The good news is I didn't hit any real like walls. I know a lot of people describe when they go running a marathon or half marathon, like there comes a point where they kind of hit a wall or a really tough spot. They just can't really, it takes a lot to really push themselves through. Luckily, I hit that wall at mile 12 out of mile 13.1, so I kind of had to mentally coach myself through it. What? 1 mile? Oh, that's so easy. You run 3 miles all the time. You run 5 miles 5 times a week. Every week, you could do 1 mile. So easy. Okay, post-race. Oh my god. I didn't realize how much pain my body was in until I had finally stopped running. After 13.1 miles, 2.5 hours of running, I could feel it in my calves, I felt it in my ankles, felt it in my quads, my hamstrings, like, and even my butt. Like everything was just burning. So I was trying to drink as much Gatorade as I could and tried to walk it off as much as I could. I was also tracking my heart rate with my Polar watch, and it said that I had burned 1,400 calories. As I passed through the finish line, I kind of sprinted. I wanted to put my last bits of energy out there so I could get a better finishing time. And my heart rate was pretty elevated, so I tried to kind of walk that off. Then after that, not very exciting. We hit the road. I will say that we did stop at Annie's, which is a vegetarian drive-thru, and I was able to get a vegan double and fries. So good. So good. 1,400 calories, worth it. I felt like running the half marathon through the Avenue of Giants, I was able to appreciate it for a much longer period of time rather than if I had drove up there and then parked on the side of the street, take some pictures, get back in the car, and then drive on. You know, you spend more quality time in the woods, you spend more quality time appreciating what you see around you. So that's what I really liked about this marathon. Before I ran the race, I did get some goodies. I got a bag. I also got a shirt, which I'll put over my face. And of course, at the end of the race, I got this really beautiful medal, and it looks really lovely. Honestly, post-race thoughts, honestly, I don't really care too much about what my finishing time was. I mean, my average mile rate was probably crap compared to a lot of the other people participating. It was like 11.5 minutes or so, but that's not really the important thing for me. The important thing was I had a goal to complete a half marathon, and I did it. And never in my wildest dreams in my whole life would I believe that I'd be able to do a half marathon. I've always hated running, always just tried to avoid it, try to get out of it. I don't know. The main reason why I got into running was to force myself to do something that I hate and also kind of get myself into better shape. It's a good challenge. Challenge is good. I like challenge. Alright, so if you enjoyed this video, maybe subscribe? I don't know. I'm just kidding. I'll be uploading more videos often because I am currently unemployed. I'm unemployed. I will see you guys all in the next video. Okay, bye!